The Kramer Show on NewsTalk at 101.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. Today is August the 20th, 2019. Scott Major from Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team is with us. He has been with us for 10 months. 11 days ago? It was the 10-month. Before you know, it's going to be the year anniversary. Jeez Louise, time flies. Welcome to the show, Scott Major from Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. What's up, bud?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Super, man.
Scott, I was on my way home yesterday, and I noticed the flooding, and we got a lot of rain. There's floods everywhere, and I'm seeing people that are walking around, and it's a different. This people that don't live here don't realize how brutal it is when we just have a rainstorm. And you know what? I've never really considered other areas of the country that get hurricanes and the life that they're dealt. And so what happens when one of those areas just has a little downpour, and you see people that have got roof damage, that have got more water coming in. Yesterday was a really big, deal here for people. So you're adding insult to injury at a moment like that when the rain is pouring in the windows, or in our building yesterday we had rain and water that was building up on the other side of the building that was coming in through the very bottom of the near the floor literally through the wall. So and I guess what I'm getting to is you have people that are trying to deal with getting their stuff buttoned up on a sunny day, much less a day like yesterday. So it must have been a double disaster.
Yeah, it's amazing what's going on in terms of, damages that occur, from these post-storms, and how it more acutely makes people understand that you need to document pictorially as well as, in a timely way exactly what damage you have and how that damage is being impacted, by water and rain and other items. And for those of you that have suffered damages as a result of this rain event, you should be engaging in the same reporting you did before. But I can't emphasize enough that you should be telling your insurance company that every day that they wait, they're creating more potential problems, because by not fixing the original problems that they were supposed to timely fix, other damages could be being caused.
Do you get people that, I would assume that there's a lot of people that are, if they're calling you at this point, that they've waited until now, and they're probably just at their wits' end. And by the way, I'll give you Scott's phone number. Scott and his team will jump into action when you call. And I'll give you the phone number. It's 844-800-LAWS, 844-800-LAWS. And you can write that down and put it in your phone. You can call him later if you can't, during the next hour or two. And I think it's vital for people to understand that once you get involved, things start moving forward. And I love that Scott, by the way, I've been meaning to tell you this. One of the great things that I love about Scott the most is that he looks at this from the emotional side. Yes, there's the law side, the business side, all of that stuff, and it's there. But Scott has done enough hurricanes to see what people are going through, and he's been doing this for 30 years. So he has seen the effects of what happens when the insurance company is not paying someone who's promptly paid their payment to the insurance company like clockwork for years and years and years, and they sit on their hands, and he knows what's going. So when you pick up the phone and you call him, you're not talking with some static guy in a suit who's never gone out and been in the trenches. He's been all over the country doing this stuff, so he knows what you're going through.
Yeah, I thanks for the kind words. I'll tell you that I am acutely sensitive. Not only have I been handling these claims, but I've been a victim myself. And I can tell you that it is just a stressful thing to deal with the damage that occurs to a home. But when you multiply that by having to deal with people or companies that aren't as, let's just say, as quick and timely as you would expect them to be, it can be overwhelmingly emotional. And I can tell you it can be debilitating to people. And for those people who are now in month 10 and haven't been paid, or month 11 haven't been paid their full and complete amounts of money, it is a time right now that if you do not have a lawyer who is seasoned and an expert at this stuff, I can't emphasize enough. Do not wait any longer. You see from these storms, you see from these rain events, you see from wind events, hail, other types of things, that your situation is not only not getting better, but you're going to have insurance companies that are going to blame the damage on something other than the storm when you wait this long. And again, I understand that some people have contractors or adjusters that are helping them, but they cannot file lawsuits like lawyers can. And you cannot believe how many insurance companies are calling me or writing me on virtually a daily basis saying, how much money do you want? Stop this litigation. Because perhaps of our reputation or our thoroughness in the way in which we file suit, or the intimidating nature with which we make document and other information demands. But I'm telling you, it happens all the time. And when you see this, I want to shake people that haven't sued and say, listen, I was begging people to do this in month 1. And I understand all of the negativity and rumorizing and people who had their own self-interest in mind that wanted to bash lawyers. But I'm telling you, from somebody who filed 70 lawsuits in the last 4 weeks, I'm telling you that you would not believe how many law firms and insurance companies are contacting us, begging us to stop. So for those of you that are listening that haven't been fully paid, underline fully paid, at least make the phone call. Even if you don't hire us, at least make the phone call and find out for free what you can be doing on your claim, even if you don't want to hire us, or find out how your lawyer or public adjuster is doing by contacting us. We may tell you you're doing great, but the concept is that it's time to finish these repairs. It's time to get back on your feet. It's time to get your life back, and we're here to help you do it.
So at this point, it being 10 months after the storm, are we at the time where the insurance companies are going, well, it's been 10 months. I mean, it's a little late. Is that what's happening? Are they using that now as part of the excuses to not pay?
There will be insurance companies that will say there was other damage, or you failed to mitigate, or you can't prove that this damage was actually caused by this storm, or it's wear and tear, or your failure to maintain, or there have been 6 storms since then. You're going to get that. That's just the reality of things. And as long as you understand that you need somebody who can fight for you to get around that, you're fine. There's just no one who shouldn't be contacting a lawyer right now to make sure you know exactly what it is that we need to do in order to get my claim in the best position.
Caller, you're up with Scott Major from Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. Go ahead.
Hey, Scott, when you file the lawsuit, is it filed in Bay County or the county that the insurance company is located in?
Good question. Most of the time, we're filing where the property is. So a lot of times we're filing in Bay or Washington, Gadsden, Leon, those kinds of counties. But sometimes we file in a local county where the insurance company is, say, for example, University Property and Casualty or some of these other companies that may have an office down in South Florida, where we know a lot of the people will file down there.
I understand. All right, I just wondered if they were coming to Bay County and possibly face 12 jurors in Bay County. It wouldn't be good for the insurance company, I wouldn't think.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think as a default, it's good to file in Bay County because even the judges have had their property impacted. But no jury is going to be friendly, to insurance company just about in any situation.
Thanks for the phone call, bud. I appreciate it. 850-233-9988 if you want to get on the air with Scott Major and ask him a question. 850-233-9988. Once you... can you take us through the process of... I've gone through all this. I got a public adjuster. I went through that portion. Things are not happening. It's just kind of sitting there. I pick up the phone. I hear Scott Major on the Kramer Show. I call him. I say, hey, here's what's going on. I've got this, that, and the other thing that's going on with my house. I've been trying to contact the insurance company. Can't get them on the phone. I hired a PA. He did what he did. He said that I deserve this amount of money. From that point forward, what exactly happens from your end, Scott?
What happens is when we get involved, if a civil remedies notice under Chapter 624 has not been filed, that is, a complaint with the state, if in fact you have a valid claim and the insurance company has not provided a reasonable excuse for why they haven't paid you, we get that filed, and then we will file a lawsuit in usually Bay County, but in the county where the property is located, as the majority strategy is. And once we file that suit, we will also file demands or requests for information, that is, to produce documents for the insurance company to swear under oath as to the truth or falsity of every single thing they've done, including, what the delays are, how much their actual estimates are, not the ones that they changed to show you that it was a lower number. We will ask them to admit certain facts and in order to prove that our claim is good. And then we will actually depose, that is, take statements under oath of everybody who came out to the property, including the people who were on the phone, the desk level adjusters. Now, you can imagine if you have someone like me taking their depositions. It's like the Prince of Darkness. Okay? What's going to happen is these people are not going to be happy when I take out a calendar and I say, on October 15th, why don't you look into the camera because I videotape everything, and why don't you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury every single thing you did for the 5 days following the storm to help this person. Let's go to October 20th. Let's go to October 25th. Let's go to November 1st. Let's go to November 15th. When I get to March, okay, and they're telling you that they've made 2 phone calls and they haven't paid you, and the reason why they haven't paid is they just don't have a reason, or they've been busy doing other things, or they're just papering their file, you can just imagine how devastating it can be when they have to pay the entire amount of money plus our attorney's fees, or they're going to suffer a triple damages recovery, plus potential emotional damages and punitive damages and other harm. You can start to see why only someone who is not fully educated would not hire Scott Major an hour ago. I don't care what public adjuster you have. I don't care how good they are. There's no one who's going to litigate a case like me. It's not that you guys don't already know that, and I've been very, very humble about not being aggressive on the phone, but I'm telling you, you're crazy not to hire the best lawyers in the country to go get your money. You're crazy not to say to yourself, enough's enough. I might have the nicest, most wonderful public adjuster in the world, but I need to get paid. And the way I'm going to get paid is to have a top lawyer, a lawyer who has experience, a lawyer who used to work for the insurance companies, a lawyer who knows this backwards and forwards, handle your case. Heck, I would hire me. And the reason is because I'm educated and experienced, and I've been at the highest levels of the insurance world. And again, we're just trying to help people to get their money. It's not about being a lawyer and making money as a lawyer. It's about empowering people and letting them know that don't wait any longer. Every day you wait, it hurts you. It gives the insurance company a chance to say, you didn't mitigate, you didn't do enough yourself, there's other problems, we're still waiting on stuff from your adjuster or other people, we need to go re-inspect the property, blah, 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 blah. It's just nonsense. When you hear an insurance company say, and you hear this a lot, we want to go out and re-inspect the property. Okay, great. Are you re-inspecting the property because you were so ungodly incompetent that the first time you inspected, you didn't do a good enough job? Why would anybody need to re-inspect? And I see that all the time. And public adjusters and lawyers allow it all the time. And it's just nonsense. Okay, you're going to go back out and what? You want to correct the deficiencies that you didn't do the first time? I mean, this is just lunacy that we're talking about here. This is your house. This is your condo. This is your business. This is your life. And why you wouldn't want to hire somebody who's going to take it as seriously as you are and wouldn't treat it like it's one of their own is just beyond me. And I just think that, enough of the public adjusters and the contractors shielding you from the top lawyers. It's time to get the best people just to help yourself. It's such an upsetting and frustrating time for everyone. We're in month 10, 11. We're going on a year now. You need to get your homes fixed. You need to get every single dollar that you're entitled to. Every dollar. And not a dollar more, but not a dollar less.
I love it when Scott gets agitated and starts going off. That's the guy. That's the guy. That's the emotional guy that you need. Somebody to get on the case. Got to take a break. We'll be back more with Scott Major from Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team.
We talk about what Panama City is talking about. More Kramer next on NewsTalk at 101. The phone lines are open. 850-233-9988. You aren't afraid of a little talk show host now, are you? This is the Kramer Show on NewsTalk at 101.
Scott Major from Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team joining us today, as he always does on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 7 and 8. Scott, is it how can I ask this? The longer you wait to hire you, does that mean that it's going to take longer for you to kind of go in, do your thing, and then squeeze the insurance company? Does it take longer, or is it just basically the same as it would have been in month 1 or 2?
The longer that you wait, in my opinion, the more time you give the insurance company to blame it on some other reason than the storm. The longer that you wait, the more the insurance company can say, you didn't fix your own property and protect against additional damages. The longer you wait, the longer it takes for us to then file the suit, so then the insurance company can buy another set of lengthy time to evaluate your claim. The longer that you wait, the more that you compromise your memory and the memory of other people who are involved in the claim, such as adjusters that might have come out back in October or November. So I can't emphasize enough that you need to take action. And I challenge any lawyer in the country to match my skills and my knowledge, both from the insurance side and from the plaintiff side. And I'm just telling people, for so long, I've been trying to educate people to give them the power to understand what their rights are. But you have houses, condos, and businesses that aren't completely fixed, or you haven't been paid all your money. You need to act now. And I'm telling you, there are techniques that the top lawyers know, that other lawyers don't, that speed this process up exponentially. And I'm telling you, my cases go faster. And they go faster because when you start making the kinds of demands that I'm making of insurance companies, and you know and I know from your experience that these insurance companies were not on your case every day. In fact, you were chasing them down. Some of them closed your case without telling you. You're going to start to understand how they're going to be nervous when a person who has experience in this area is exposing their weaknesses and telling them that if you don't pay all of the money you owe now, you might owe 3, 4, and 5 times the amount of money later.
Which the thought of that, or, the severity of that pushes, right? So that can be leverage. I've seen people that are going through not only the problems with the insurance company, which we talk about a lot because that's the main issue that people are having, but then there are also the contractors' issues that people are having. I'm just overhearing a conversation again, I think over the weekend, where they were talking about the contractors, and people are having all sorts of issues on that side too.
There's no doubt about it. And I'll tell you that if you have somebody on your side who does this for a living, who's helping you legally and otherwise, it just makes the process go faster. It makes the process more likely to result in a recovery in the way in which you want rather than a way in which the insurance companies want. Like it or not, insurance companies are collecting money to make a profit. There's nothing wrong with capitalism. Nothing. But if you're one of the victims of a hurricane or any storm or any covered event, every day that you wait, candidly, is just a day that you could have had your money. And I understand that people have been waiting on other people, but the time is now to act. And I'm telling you, if you act with the right lawyer, you're going to be successful. And make sure that whatever lawyer you go to, ask them, have they personally handled 500 cases? Have they personally been involved with the insurance industry on that side? If they haven't, don't hire them. Don't. And it's not a knock. It's if that's what I was doing and I was a victim, I would want to hire the best person. If you were getting eye surgery, you'd want to go to the best eye surgeon in the country. Somebody who's done your particular eye surgery 1,000 times, because then they know it. They know exactly how to do it. So it's very important for the listeners to make sure that not only they, but every friend they know in this city and in other cities understands that if you want to recover, you need to have a good lawyer who knows what they're doing. And if you do, you have an extremely high likelihood of recovering, or you may find out that certain things aren't covered, and then you'll know how much money you're getting and how much money you're not getting. And you won't have misunderstandings about that or fake promises made by people who are telling you something just to get your business.
Scott Major from Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. If you want to get on the air and ask him a question, you can do that. Line him up at 850-233-9988. More to come.
The Kramer Show will be back in a sec on NewsTalk at 101. Finally, a morning show from this century. The Kramer Show is back on NewsTalk at 101.
We got Scott Major with us. Scott Major from Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. Stormhelpteam.org. And you can also call 844-800-LAWS. That's the offices of Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. 844-800-LAWS. Let's go to Vicky. Vicky, you're up with Scott Major. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning. How are you, Scott?
How about yourself?
Oh, just fine. My conversation is going to be a little bit different than most people because I am actually on the other end of it. I work for a semi-local contracting company that does a lot of work to the homes, and we have a particular preferred provider for an insurance company. But I'm going to tell you right now, we are not the friend of these people. I have a hard time at night sleeping. We do some pretty unscrupulous things. I don't like it. I hate it. I am looking for another job. That's why I'm not mentioning the name of the company.
When you say unscrupulous, what do you mean?
Here's what I mean by unscrupulous, and I'll give you a real quick point. I have a lady over here in Lynn Haven, and she has a damaged tile floor. that was fine from the insurance company that came out, looked at it, and it was fine when the insurance company looked at it. Damage has been done to it on our end. We did it. But the person that I work for will not allow that floor to be done by him. And so now he's telling, and the lady's 80 years old. I mean, she cries about it. And so what I've basically done is I've taken and bought her tile myself out of my own pocket because it's killing me.
Oh, my God.
And it hurts. She doesn't want to get an attorney involved. I've even told her, I said, if you do, that's your right. I told her, I said, I listen to Kramer every morning. There's really good information. She's terrified and she's old, but she's terrified that then it'll even take longer. They're literally, their ALR, it's gone at the end of this month. So they're living in a camper, and the camper is paid for by the insurance company at an absorbent, 5 times the amount rate, and they won't be able to pay for that.
All I can tell you is that if fraud is going on, you should report it to the police. That's what I recommend you do. Your whistleblower protections would not allow the residents of this wonderful county to be impacted negatively by somebody who's doing something horrible, if they're in fact doing something horrible.
By the way, Vicki, what an awful predicament for you to be in.
It makes me sick.
You have a job, and that's your source of income, and then I don't know, how often does something like that happen where you see just the company as being egregious?
So much that it makes you sick every single day. And it ain't just me. It's a lot of, and I'm a project manager, and it's a lot of us that are out here in the field like this, and we deal with these people face to face every day, and then we're asked to tell them unscrupulous things when we know that on our end of it, we know what insurance. Now, he is providing everything that insurance will allow, but insurance won't allow that. So he is basically telling her, we're not doing this. And they have fought and fought and fought over this floor now for the last 6 months. And her house is now towards the end of being done. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting in front of it now. But the house is being done, and that's what I'm saying. Every morning when I get up, she's the first person I think of, and I come over here and sit in front of her house.
Wow.
It just makes me want to cry.
Yeah. I mean, is that? I mean, is that normal? I mean, is that? Are we talking about companies like that?
It's not there's companies that's even worse than mine that are doing way more unscrupulous crap. Nobody's going to be, a stand-up person and go online or, go on a radio station and talk about it and say it, and there's a lot of people out there that are project managers that are just as unscrupulous as the people that they work for. Every once in a while, you'll get a Vicky. You'll get somebody that it just sticks, and it bothers them.
Blows my mind.
And
I mean,
I'm one of them.
As much money as there is to be had from doing good business, I don't know why in the world that people take advantage of people in a situation like this. There's no excuse for that. And
I think after a while, I think it becomes like a sickness. You know what I'm saying? Well, I've done this once. Let's do this here. And then by the time you've got 50, 60 houses, and if you clip a little bit, then clipping means you don't have to do something that you thought you were going to have to do. So that little bitty amount is called clipping.
Right, and you put it in there anyway?
Yeah.
Well, Vicki, look, Scott said to call the police and file. Okay. And I know you got a job, but boy, are you in a hot spot there.
I'm about ready to leave this job anyway. This is I can't function with unscrupulous. I just can't. It's tearing me apart.
Wow, Vicki, thank you for calling. Jeez Louise. Hey, you're up with Scott Major of Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. Go ahead.
Hi, my question is, I think a lot of people do not go to a lawyer because they're afraid if they don't win, they owe them a lot of money.
Scott,
you won't have that problem with me because you don't owe me anything if you don't recover anything. And most of the best lawyers in town will tell you that they will handle your case without you having to pay anything. They recover it from the insurance company, or they take a percentage of what is recovered.
If you're going through a recovery group, that's not the right word, and they want to send you to their lawyer, then you ask that question, do they get paid only if they win something?
What do you mean, like a public adjuster? Is that what you mean?
Yes. If you went to a public adjuster, they want to send you to...
Sure. If you're with anybody who sends you to a lawyer, you should have several questions. First question is, they won't charge you unless they recover money, is the first question. And the second question should be, has that lawyer been involved with at least 500 cases? Do that. Or has that lawyer worked for the insurance company and knows how to handle these claims? Do that. And if your public adjuster does not refer you to a lawyer that has that kind of experience, then you should hire me. I'm just telling you what you should be doing. It's up to you, but hire the best people you can hire, because that's so important.
Okay. Thank you very much.
If you've hired a contractor, right, and the insurance company, you've agreed to an amount or whatever, and the insurance company is supposed to pay for it, and the contractor comes out, and you see that they are not doing something that they're supposed to be doing, or there's something other than that that's nefarious that's going on, should you pick up the phone and call the insurance company? Should you call the contractor? Should you call a lawyer? Can you talk about that for a second?
Sure. My recommendation is, if you have a problem, or if you see something that's not appropriate, get a loyal lawyer involved who can give you the best advice that you need, so that you can determine whether it is something that involves need to inform the insurance company or the police, or whether the lawyer just needs to get involved to help you. And that is what you should be doing.
To call Scott, 844-800-LAWS, 844-800-LAWS. And you can also get on the air with him and ask him a question today here, 850-233-9988. I can't imagine being that lady, having to work for a company, knowing that all that's going on, and, not saying anything and knowing how it's affecting people. And, after talking to you over the past 10 months and taking phone calls, we've heard horror story after horror story from contractors, from insurance companies, to, down to just the reasons. I was going to mention this to you because we've talked about it on the show before. I mentioned to you before about Winn-Dixie, about how Winn-Dixie on the beach, a bunch of those stores have now reopened and everything is good. And then on the other side, they're down, and now they're saying that it might be November, December, January before those stores are online too. So not only do you have insurance companies and contractors that are going, doing nefarious things, but then you have companies that are waiting and waiting and waiting, who still are not open. And if you're talking about a company that's that large, and they're still having issues, my goodness, it almost feels daunting to think that you just have a home and you're just trying to, to get your insurance company to ease up a little bit so you can get on with your life. It's just unbelievable the amount of time it's taking.
I agree, and I just think that it's so important for people to get a great lawyer so they feel comfortable that they're going to get the fastest and best relief possible. That's the key. And if you do that, I'm telling you, you're going to sleep the sleep of angels, knowing that you have the best person on the job. That's all I can emphasize over and over to people.
Caller, you're up with Scott Major. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kramer. I love your show. Anyway, my parents have a contractor that subcontracted to another subcontractor, and found out yesterday they were having issues with their electricity that they replaced completely. I had my dad go down to the city of Callaway to find out if a permit was ever pulled for the electric, and it was not. And now they're having major issues with their electric. And electrician came out yesterday, and he wanted to know who did that job because they did everything backwards. What can they do?
Well, Florida has a chapter called 558, which is a chapter that requires contractors to perform properly. And if they don't perform properly and you give them notice, you have certain legal rights that will help you to get recovery. I encourage you to get a lawyer involved, find out the rights and what you need to have done so that you can make the best decision for them.
Okay. All right, so I'll just have them call your number, and then maybe they can speak to somebody and see what they need to do next.
Dial the 844-800-LAWS, and then we'll either help you or tell you who to go to.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks for the phone call. 844-800-LAWS. 844-800. Did I say that wrong? 844-800-LAWS. 844-800-LAWS. Scott Major from Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. More to come. It's the Kramer Show. It's News Talk at 101. Go to newstalk101.com. You can listen to the show live. You go to stormhelpteam.org, and you can listen to all the shows that we've done with Scott Major from Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. A couple of minutes left here. 850-233-9988 if you got a question for Scott. 850-233-9988. What else, Scott, can people do at this point? You know, if what would be other reasons why somebody would need you on their side? I'm sure there's a million.
Or you know anyone that has not gotten a top lawyer involved to at least evaluate your case and determine whether or not you are being fully paid the maximum amount of money. I am begging you, imploring you to pick up the phone, dial the 844-800-LAWS number, at least find out what rights you have, whether or not you're covered and you're being paid all of the money that you deserve, not just most of it, and make sure that your estimates are not fraudulent, that they're accurate, and make sure that your case is proceeding along in the best way possible. You and I have been working hard since just after the storm to try to empower people with honest and wholesome information that will empower them with credible ways for them to recover. And I can only encourage people to take advantage of you and I and our knowledge that we've shared and either listen to the radio shows through the stormhelpteam.org site, every one of them's on there, or call us and ask us the questions. If you already have a lawyer and you don't like your lawyer, we can help you. If you have a contractor or you have a public adjuster and you don't like or don't want to continue with them, we can help you. The whole key is to just get you your money and get you all of your money as soon as possible.
And all. You mean all, not just a little bit. Is that
right?
I would love to know the numbers on how many people just take a percentage of the money that they know that they're owed. I mean, it's a long process. I mean, you have to. I mean, you're going to have to get somebody to help you assess exactly what it is. You can't just take the insurance's word for it. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people that do that as well, where the insurance company comes out and they say, here's the amount. Yeah,
you're absolutely right, and I'm just telling the people, as a friend, that you need to do everything in your power to get people you trust to be helping you. I don't know a more trustworthy person than you, Kramer. If they don't know who to hire, let them call you. But the concept is they need to get empowered and educated and stop this nonsense and get everybody's house rebuilt, everybody's business rebuilt, everybody's condo rebuilt in the proper way by proper vendors.
And, look, Scott, like he has said, and I've said on the air a million times, he's been doing this for a very long time. And he talks in his book, one of the books that he wrote about what he went through in his law firm and his law offices and how they, went from that. I love, we should talk sometime primarily about the book. I would love to interview you just about the book.
Sure.
Because it's a neat read. But 844-800-LAWS is the phone number, 844-800-LAWS. And, at this point, it's been 10 months. Just the peace of mind alone, just to say, look, hey, man, I just want to fire you a phone call. I heard you this morning. Here's what I'm going through. The PA told me this, and then the insurance company said this. Just once and for all, just get it taken care of. So the number 844-800-LAWS, 844-800-LAWS. Scott Major from Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. Incredible hour as always, buddy. And thank you so much for being with us and hanging in there with us through 10 months of this stuff.
Thanks for all you do, man. I really appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you later in the week. You be well.
Talk to you soon, bud. There he is, Scott Major. Hour number 3 is coming up.
This is live and local morning radio. This is Kramer.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.